Hey you guys, it's Britt. Today I wanted to jump on and have an open discussion about Without a Crystal Ball. This is something that's been on my mind for the last couple of weeks, and I figured I would toss it out to you guys and we can talk about it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Hey guys, before we get into the video, I want to have some words. So there's a lot going on right now on YouTube, and there's a whole lot of toxicity, opinions, people don't like each other, infighting. And I will mention this later in the video, but as all of my subscribers know, I have never, ever been one to support doxing, going real life, bullying someone, attacking someone so that their mental health is declining. Excuse me. I don't care if it is someone who I can't stand, and maybe they are my least favorite person on this platform. This might have been someone who has come from me multiple times. This might be someone who doesn't know who the hell I am. But there are certain things that you just don't do. You can make all the videos you want, but as soon as people are going real life, and one of the biggest ways that I see people going real life is they love to dox. They love to say, oh, this is so-and-so's name and this is where they live. That shit will never be okay. It will never be okay with me. It is not normal behavior. It is, in fact, in my opinion, in order to feel satisfaction by putting someone's personal information out there, I would almost say that you are not well. I don't want to, throw diagnoses out there, but that is not someone who is well, and that is not someone who should be on YouTube. That is not someone who should be given a platform. There are many creators on this platform, and creators and subscribers both, that I have distaste for. Can't even speak because it's just like this toxicity is just, it's boiling over at this point. I don't care what someone has said about me. I don't care how many videos they've made. I don't care if they think that I am the biggest piece of trash that they've ever come across. But doxing is never okay. It is never going to be okay to say, I dislike this person so much that I'm going to put their personal information out there and make sure that other people know that I know their personal information. This is what I constantly say. We can have shady opinions and we can spill a little tea here and there, but for someone to have to go to bed at night and think my address or my full name or whatever was put out onto the internet today, and we know that people take screenshots and share it with other people, and it's really scary. To me, that hurts my heart. It does. It makes me really sad to think that YouTube can be a really fun place to interact with each other and be a little shady once in a while. But there is absolutely no need ever to go real life and dox someone. You can call me a bitch and I can call you the biggest piece of trash on the planet. And if those are in comments or videos, okay, that's part of being on the internet. But if you see someone doxing, or if you see someone doxed, and even if you don't like this person, recognize that someone is behind that dox. And anyone who would dox someone else is a very dangerous person to be on this platform. So that's all that I'm going to say before I yap for too long, but I feel like this toxic little center of YouTube has boiled over, and I've seen quite enough. I definitely don't try to seek this stuff out because it's honestly scary how much some people can hate each other. And like I said, you cannot like one another. But to sit there and say that someone needs to be kicked off YouTube just because you don't like them, or, you know, you're going to dox their info, or, you know, just completely annihilate them. You guys know these are things that I've never stood behind, and I don't care if it's my worst enemy. It's not okay, and it never will be. So let's get on with the video. All right, you guys, so like I said, this is something that I've been thinking about for the past couple of weeks. You guys know that I don't cover Katie Joy nearly as often as I used to. Especially this time last year, I was covering her a lot more because she was in the lawsuit that was going on with Tati Westbrook, and there were some older videos that I reacted to of hers, and there was just more to talk about. So in between her lawsuit not happening now and me having covered a lot of her problematic behavior, and also not wanting to be a broken record and just recycling the same old commentary about her, I just don't talk about her as often. I still do cover her here and there, but I've noticed with the last couple of videos that I've put out about her, and this has been a recurring theme, but it seems like it's picked up a little bit since the last couple of times that I've talked about her. We know that tons of people cannot stand Katie Joy. They talk about her every single day, all day long, and if that's your journey, that's awesome. So I know that she has a group of people that cannot stand her. She has a subreddit that I've talked about before that has tons of people over there, and they're constantly pointing out her hypocrisies, her toxic behavior, her mistreatment of her subscribers, and how she shouldn't be a journalist even though she wants to call herself a journalist. The list goes on. So I know that there's that core group of people, but specifically talking about my videos and my comment section, I've noticed several more than usual comments regarding, oh, well, Katie Joy is amazing and she's done such a good job covering the Josh Duggar situation, and she's just fantastic and you don't know what you're talking about. And anytime I see kind of a shift, I'm very interested, because I look at Katie and I look at her as someone who, in my book, would take a lot of work to redeem herself. And even then, I would not watch her content because it's not interesting to me. But maybe some people would. I know that people can always change. It's never too late. But with her, it does seem like there's been so many messes because of her. I think that it would show, it would require a long period of growth in order for people to give her a second chance, those who wanted to give her that second chance. With her growth as of the last few months, especially with the Josh Duggar stuff, right now she has 206,000 subscribers, and that's very hard to believe. There for a long time, I thought that she was buying subscribers allegedly because she was losing so many because of the lawsuit. I don't know that she's necessarily doing that in the current day, because I do think that a lot of people have discovered her because of Josh Duggar, and I think that they haven't done the research as to who she is and can she be trusted. Should I take her commentary at face value? Is this someone that I should be spending hours of my day consuming their content? Because for me, I've always said that I like to be able to trust the person that I'm listening to, especially if you're doing commentary on such serious subject matters. I want to know that you've done the research, and obviously with her, we can see historically that she's not one to do research. She will take a trash tabloid header and run with it, plaster it all over her channel, and get that big AdSense check, and she's laughing all the way to the bank. So I think a lot of her recent growth and the several people that are leaving comments about how wonderful she is, they are people that have recently discovered her and not seen any of the nonsense and BS that she's pulled on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram over the past, couple of years. They haven't done their due diligence. And I'm not saying everyone has to do their due diligence, but I also look at my time as being valuable. And if I'm going to be spending hours a day or even hours a week watching your content and in turn paying you, because minutes watched equals actual dollars for YouTubers, I want to know a little bit more about who I'm watching, and is this person someone that I want to support financially? And is this someone that I can trust their word at face value? Are they the type to, really dig in and research what it is that they're talking about, especially, like I said, with something so serious like the Duggars and a lot of the stuff, associated with the Duggars? And I also want to say, obviously once in a while we all have a bad take. So I talked about that in my Q&A yesterday. Once in a while, YouTubers will have a bad take or a knee-jerk reaction, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a prolonged period of spreading lies, misinformation, defaming people, and being an overall toxic person on this platform like Katie is, in my opinion. So her views are getting, they're pretty good. People are very interested in the Duggars, and a lot of people, I feel like you have two different crowds of people. You have the people that are interested in the trial and the facts, and then you have people that are interested in the drama and tea when it comes to the Duggar family. And that's no shade. If that's what you like, then that's what you like. But like I said, I like a little bit of gossip here and there too, but I at least want to be able to know that there's some form of truth being delivered with this video. And to elaborate too on my last statement that I said regarding watching YouTubers makes them richer, this is something that I've talked about a couple of other times, but a lot of people will look at a YouTuber that they don't like and they'll say, well, I'm not a member and I'm not on their Patreon, so I just watch because I don't like the person, which is always interesting, but do you? When I say that, it's because people really need to understand the way that AdSense works. And when you are hate watching someone by watching 15 minutes and 23 seconds of them speaking, or 23 minutes and 31 seconds, however long the video is, because usually when people hate watch, they are watching the entire video. And that is fantastic for that YouTuber. If you're watching beginning to end, dissecting every little thing that that YouTuber says and just hate watching just to do it, you are allowing them to collect a bigger AdSense check. And that's why I say, as a subscriber, assuming that you're not someone that has a commentary channel or a reaction channel, if you are just watching this person just because you don't like them, you are paying them, because YouTube loves when someone watches from beginning to end. And if you're doing that for this person that you supposedly can't stand so much, you're making them richer. And if you don't care about that, then that's fine. But I always say, if it's someone that you really cannot stand that much, to the point where you're willing to waste hours of your day hate watching them, in turn allowing them to get a bigger AdSense check at the end of the month, you're not really doing anyone any favors aside from upsetting yourself. And I'll always say, do whatever you want with your time, but time is so precious. And I hear from so many people that they can't stand Katie, they want her off the platform, but the best way to approach that is to nothing her. Don't give her the views, don't give her the watch time, don't thumbs down the video or leave a nasty comment. Act like her channel is off the platform. That's the best way to handle really toxic, problematic YouTubers. And to also touch, I have a million things going through my head right now with this. I want to touch real quick on deplatforming, because this has been a recent topic because of Real Entertainment News having his channel terminated by YouTube. I think that a lot of people, because of that, they're saying, well, Katie Joy should be next. This person should be next. That person should be next. When we're talking about deplatforming someone, you know, there has to be evidence there that they are abusing their platform. Just because you don't like someone and you might find them annoying and you don't like their content, someone has to be pretty bad to be kicked off of YouTube and have their channel terminated. And as bad as Katie is, if she was breaking terms of service, she has a channel sizable. I am pretty sure that YouTube would have terminated her by now if they had grounds to do so. I know a lot of people cannot stand her, but instead of hate watching or, you know, wishing that YouTube would kick her off the platform, take your control back and act like her channel's already gone. That's the easiest way to go about it, because at this point, she is laughing all the way to the bank. She is laughing at all of these little hate channels that came up off her name. I was accused of, you know, getting YouTube fame from using Katie Joy. I just so happened to share my opinion a handful of times. People liked what I had to say, so I continued to utilize my platform to share my opinion. But I in no way, shape, or form, at least from my seat, was ever a Katie Joy hate channel. I have never bullied her. I have never doxed her. I have never gone real life with her. I have never wished ill will on her or anyone in her family, nor would I, because that is meaningless to me, and I will never use my platform to literally bully someone else, because I've had others use their platforms to bully me, and I know how it feels, and it sucks. And as much as you try to act like those people don't exist, unfortunately, as a YouTuber, you're still going to have subscribers send you stuff like, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? And it's just part of the game. So I have to ignore it to the best of my ability. But I think that there have been a few channels that have bullied Katie. And I don't care if I can't stand her, I don't care if she's one of my least favorite people on this platform, she doesn't deserve to be bullied to the point where her mental health is declining because of what people are saying. Give your commentary and move on. You know, that's just my opinion. I will never agree with a lot of the things that Katie says. I will not agree with the way that she uses her platform to pick apart things that she has no business picking apart, you know, especially regarding the Duggars and things along those lines. But I'm adult enough to say that even if I disagree with every single thing that she ever does, I still don't agree with bullying each other just because you don't like someone. It's not worth it. Just act like they don't exist and move on. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is her anti-KJ community. Now, I know a lot of people like to claim that they have anti-communities, and I think that Katie Joy definitely does, and I think that there are some other YouTubers that definitely do. Now, if I came out and said I have an anti, Radiantbritt community, people would laugh at me, but believe it or not, there are several people who cannot stand me, and they'll use anything that I say or do in order to twist it to fit their agenda, to make me look like I'm some kind of evil person behind the scenes manipulating people. Let's stop holding one person accountable for what another person says. That would be awesome if we could do that for 2022. It would show massive growth. Let's stop putting someone else's words on someone else and asking them to take accountability for something that they didn't even say. But the last thing that I want to say is, with her anti-community, I do wonder if some of the fallout and the infighting and the toxicity that happened with a lot of the key players in the anti-KJ community made people kind of tune them out, because I do think that there for a while there was an important message there, and there was commentary being delivered about Katie and a lot about her problematic behavior and her really terrible content that she was publishing. But somewhere along the way, these key players started to fight with each other and get toxic with one another and bully each other and go real life and do all these things, I do kind of wonder if some of the subscribers that would consume that content just tuned out, because at a point it's like, look, y'all can't even, deliver this content about Katie without fighting with each other. So at a certain point, it just kind of turns into a circus. And I think a lot of subscribers that might have been interested in hearing all of these different views tuned out at a certain point because it became a circus. So if you're someone who used to consume a lot of the anti-KJ content, and when I'm talking about anti-KJ community, I'm talking about channels that would cover her on a very consistent basis. They would very rarely go outside of the anti-Katie Joy content. And it was consistent for an extended period of time where that is all that they talked about. They talked about all things Katie and how she was so terrible. So I don't want to group everyone together because there's a lot of creators who would talk about her periodically, and they just so happened to, collect some subscribers, but then they were making other content as well. I'm talking about channels where it's like 85 to 90% of their content was anti-Katie Joy, and it stayed that way for several months. And so that's who I'm talking about. If you were a subscriber of any of this type of content, what did you think once fallout started to happen and it just kind of got to the point where it felt like the message was lost and it was no longer about holding Katie Joy accountable? It was about creating drama with other creators and being toxic towards one another. Like, what do you think about it? I want to know. So anyway, you guys tell me about what you think. Do you think the tables are turning with Katie Joy? Do you think that she's just still allegedly buying subscribers? Do you think that her covering the Josh Duggar situation has helped her at all? What do you think about this? I really, really want to know. It's very interesting to me. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.